Welcome back to the Krypton Factor Group A final. Our contestants have amassed their points totals. Now they're on their way to the Super Round, where first they'll use those points to buy themselves advantages before battling it out for that coveted place in the Krypton Factor Grand Final. The Krypton Super Round begins with a now familiar parachute jump. Next, our contestants must find their way through the cryptic rings. Out of the rings, they face the computer code challenge before starting down the laser matrix, where breaking the beams incurs a crucial time penalty. As usual, 6 battens have to be collected from the response revolve before the final hurdle, the Krypton Mountain. Constructing the ladder comes first, followed by a race to the top.
Contestants, take your positions.
A reminder that the leader is Nigel Stones with 34, Brent Ellis is second with 28, Mandy Wertheim third with 24, and Karen Saunders fourth with 12. And using their experience from the heats, the group finalists have used those points to buy the advantages that will help them through their weakest areas. Nigel has bought 2 ladder pieces worth 12 points and 1 word on the computer challenge for 8 points. Brent has also bought 2 ladder pieces and a guide arrow in the cryptic rings. Mandy has bought 1 ladder piece and a response revolve baton. Karen, with the least points, could only afford 1 ladder piece. How wisely they've all chosen, we're about to find out.
The first challenge for our contestants is the cryptic rings. To help them get through, they have codes which appear on the monitors in front of them. Their personal codes start with their own colour and then follow through clockwise. And as soon as they've got those memorised, they can jump. The Super Round starts now.
Code memorised, they're all quick to leave the Krypton Mountain. Even Karen Saunders, who last time you may remember spent a long time on top of the mountain memorising the code.
All 4 contestants are swiftly into the rings, where only one has the benefit of a guide arrow, and that's Brent Ellis. And they all know that they have to get out of those rings as quickly as possible using that code. And that means concentration under pressure, and also, as Nigel Stones is illustrating, a fair amount of physical agility as well. Karen Saunders was telling us that she memorised the code from her heat so well she can still remember it.
Mandy Wertheim, third going into this final section. She recorded the fastest time of all over the Super Round in the heats, but she seems to be finding this a bit more difficult. To get just 1 number or letter out of sequence can be disastrous. And has Brent's guide arrow been of any help? Nigel Stones, the contest leader, has found his exit point. He won the mental agility and observation round, so we know how sharp he is at interpretation under pressure. Now, Brent has found the way out, but Mandy's still searching, so too is Karen, but both very close. And Brent now on his way to the computer.
Nigel's logged in already, and Brent has now been joined by Mandy. It's not easy to crack tonight's code. If they're quick, they'll realise the solution lies with the computer's keyboard. To get the correct letter, they have to press the letter to the right of it on the keyboard. So for R, they have to tap in T, for E, R, and so on.
Nigel bought a 1-word advantage here, so he only has to complete 3 words. Brent, last in the mental agility round, struggling with this test too, but Mandy's on her 3rd word. And that advantage has really paid off for Nigel. Almost finished. He has now and can start down the laser matrix. Now he has to be careful. Breaking the beams means you have to freeze for 7 seconds. And with the others breathing down his neck, he simply can't afford any delay.
And that's Mandy Wertheim's signal to leave the computer challenge and make her way through the laser web. So Mandy in 2nd place, but Nigel has already reached the response revolve. Mandy zipping down that laser run, and now Karen Saunders can start down the matrix, leaving only Brent at the computer.
Mandy Wertheim reaches the revolve, and the skill here is to judge the light sequence, which frees the baton, and then use dexterity and agility to take the baton out while the light is still flashing. And this is Mandy's chance to claw back ground on Nigel. She's bought 1 baton advantage, so she only has to collect 5 pieces. So it's Nigel in 1st place, Mandy 2nd, and Karen 3rd.
And this is going to be very close. Nigel is waiting on his final baton, though. He's hanging on in there, literally hoping he's not going to have to go right to the top before the light goes on. But there it goes, and he's got the baton. Nigel Stones is first to the Krypton Mountain. He's bought 2 ladder pieces with his advantages, so he's ideally placed to make it first to the top. Now remember, he won his heat with a very fast time, but Mandy has the fastest time of all in the Super Round, so it's not over yet.
Indeed, Mandy is now hot on his heels, but back in the revolve, a separate battle going on between Karen Saunders and Brent Ellis. But this is the race for first place between Nigel and Mandy, and that's Nigel's final ladder piece. And those sections, I can tell you, are really heavy and cumbersome, but Mandy is showing all the technique and style that created that record time in the Super Iron. Can she catch Nigel and win a place in the grand final? But it's Nigel first onto the mountain. Now facing that daunting climb to the top, Karen Saunders in third place reaches the mountain. She's too far behind to win, but will be desperate to stay ahead of Brent. And ahead of her, Mandy straining every muscle to catch Nigel. And now Brent making up lost ground after a tremendous effort in the revolve, and with 2 ladder pieces already bought, he's now overtaking Karen. But who will get to the top first, Nigel or Mandy? It's going to be very close indeed. One last push. There is Nigel's K, and he's got it. Nigel Stone's a brilliant winner, and Mandy Wertheim a very, very close second.
Nigel, that was a very close finish, but you did extremely well, very fast.
Thank you, it was great, excellent.
And we'll, of course, see Nigel again in the grand final. He's the first to qualify, but we're back next week with the start of Group B and the search for the second grand finalist. And now, as the other group finalists here fight their way to the top of Krypton Mountain, we will take our lead. See you same time, same place next week. But now, from all of us,
Good night.
Good night.